Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another Aftermarket Business World interview with a top aftermarket executive. I'm Larry Silvey, publisher of Custom Content. With me today is Kent Savage, who is the CEO of Apex Supply Chain Technologies. Our discussion today revolves around inventory and supply chain efficiency, which has been an ongoing problem for this industry for decades. But there is good news. There are some exciting developments in this area which I want to discuss with Kent. Good afternoon, Kent. How are you?
I'm super, Larry. Thanks for having me on the program today.
Well, Kent, thanks for being with us to discuss this important topic. And, well, there's no place like the beginning to start, so here goes. Could you give me a little bit of your background? I'd like to just establish, your experience and what you've been up to in your career.
Well, I'm an entrepreneur and a business person, but I started in the early part of my career working in the traditional vending space, candy, snacks, cold drinks, and so on. And as technology evolved, I was fortunate enough to evolve along with it. So back in the early 90s, I started marrying computers with vending machines. Got my first patent on the automatic tool dispenser in 1993. Since then, we've worked with many industries all around the world to solve supply chain problems, developing more sophisticated and solution-oriented systems. We've embraced the internet and found a way to create internet appliances that make all of the deployment and scalability possible that we couldn't when I first started, and that brings us to a very broad solution set that we have today.
All right, that's a great background. And staying with the background questions, if you will, a little more about the background of the company and the general idea of the types of systems you're selling.
Sure. Apex Supply Chain Technologies is in business to help suppliers of critical parts, components, materials, and supplies to become more efficient, to serve their customers better by using automation and information. We provide systems which are sometimes like a vending machine, sometimes like a locker, sometimes like an open shelf, but all are internet appliances that allow information to be paired with the flow of materials and parts and components. That lets suppliers eliminate inventory and eliminate manual processes and reactive behaviors. All of that together allows the customers to be more competitive, the suppliers, the distributors, and OEMs to be more competitive, to reduce costs, and to follow best practices.
Well, you're speaking this industry's language, that's for sure. Obviously, you see a need in the aftermarket for your products, but before we talk about products specifically, please give me your assessment of the state of the market as it pertains to inventory and supply chain management.
I believe the automotive aftermarket is just moving in the same path that we see in other industries. And what I mean when I say that, there's a great evolution in process, and some players see it clearly and are at the front edge. Some are not seeing it yet and are feeling the effects of it. But whether you see it or you don't see it, the reality is that the expected response is faster. The onus is more placed higher up the supply chain, meaning distributors and OEMs are expected to respond to the needs of the actual service providers, whether that be a fleet provider or it be an independent shop or a multi-shop operation or an OEM group. The reality is that the current systems are not working. And part of the reason for that is they've been very reliant on having lots of inventory in lots of places and lots of people fetching, sorting. In the past, the distribution chain has been measured by how quickly they react to a crisis or a need, a pull, if you will. And today, that's not enough. Sometimes we have to be ahead of that, and using information is a way we can do that and do it in a cost-effective way to be competitive.
Very good. Well, it sounds like you want to help the distributors in this industry, and I'm assuming that that would be both program groups and auto parts retailers, help them dispense parts and supplies to their repair shop customers through your vending machine or your appliances, as you call them. Just how would that work, and what kind of parts and supplies do you foresee being stocked in these vending machines, since SKUs in this industry number well into the millions?
Sure. Well, there's really two levels you need to look at this. There's certain routine parts and supplies and materials that are used on an ongoing basis, and those are stocked near where they're used. There's also the ability with these systems to have parts delivered on an as-needed basis into locker systems 24/7, so they can be that last mile, if you will. So we have an already there component, and we have a last mile component working together to serve the needs and make sure that we have the right stuff in the right place as fast as we can at the lowest possible cost.
All right, I think that takes us to looking at the specific process of working with distributors. Most distributors are selling parts and supplies to independent repair shops. So what is the process in working with those distributors to get the vending machines into the shops?
Well, it takes a new view. What we have to do, Larry, is step back from the problem and saying the answer is not buying more trucks or driving faster or hiring more people to stock bins or pull parts faster. The answer is to have a better system, and that's where putting the technology, the dispensing devices and the locker devices at the shop is the first step. We work together with the distribution partners to make sure that that happens in an efficient way, to bundle that with their service offering so that it's a seamless process for the shop. And the shop then, just like they would pull a vendor-managed inventory or a consigned inventory from a shelf, we now pull it from a machine. The advantage, though, is that we have control over what's in the machine. We know for sure that it's there so that the inventory is correct. We don't get surprised with stockouts or have questions as to was it used, was it not used, is the box there but the part is not inside the box, and so on. So the distributor can supply that service more efficiently, everyone can have the parts where they need them, and the supplier can then know in real time what needs to be replenished when a part has been used.
Sounds like an excellent system. Well, one of the persistent problems in the aftermarket, as you, I'm sure, well aware, is the return of parts. Too often a technician will try to install the wrong part and then try to return it to the store as an improper part, or worse, as damaged goods. In either case, that means the integrity of the package and perhaps the part itself have been compromised. How does the vending machine handle returns efficiently and correctly?
Well, that's one of the beauties of the system, and quite frankly, we come only in recent years to the automotive aftermarket. So we've had hundreds of millions of opportunities around the world to deal with the flow of parts in other environments, and we bring that knowledge to the automotive aftermarket. As such, we know all about returns. We know how to handle returns. We have locker systems which can accept the returns and even note the condition. The beauty of the system is that you have accountability. So if a technician were to put a part in and mischaracterize it, say it's a good part but it's not a good part, or it's in the original condition but it's not, or it's defective and it's not defective, we have accountability. So we know what technician did that, what day, what time. All of that is recorded in the system for everyone to see. So since everyone knows there's visibility, they don't do the wrong thing. It changes human behavior, and it physically allows for a smooth, even pickup of those parts. Everyone knows when they're returned or when they need to be picked up, all of that.
Sounds like an excellent idea. As you know, many shops install OE parts, either because their customers want them or there isn't a comparable aftermarket part available. Most distributors will supply OE parts on request or on an as-needed basis, but don't typically stock them. How does the Apex system address this?
Well, at the beginning I talked about the already there parts, in other words, the parts that are stocked and ready to access anytime, and then the on-demand or will call last mile parts. So parts can be ordered through the distributor from the OE or wherever they come from, and sent through the normal delivery channel, put into one of the locker systems, and the requester, whether that be the tech or the service manager, whoever it is, would then be notified, get a pickup code, and they can pick that part up. So that allows however many millions of parts of whatever size, whatever shape, that the user might need, or even kits of parts to be on hand, ready for use when they need to be.
Okay, Kent, now for a multi-layer question, so just bear with me. First, are there buy and lease plans for your products? Second, when a distributor buys or leases a vending machine, what kind of maintenance and upgrade policies are included? And finally, if so, how do these processes work?
Okay, so a big question and a very important one. We try and work with our distribution partners in the way that makes the most sense for them. And leasing is a very important part of it. So we will identify what technology is necessary, both hardware and software, to serve that distributor's customers, and work to prepare a total program that allows them to place these units at the end user sites, at the shops, to be a part of a bundled supply program. So from the end user standpoint, this is one of the services that distributor provides. Today they might provide reorder response, they might provide vendor managed inventory or consignment in some cases, they do replenishment, they may do bin stocking or shelf stocking, those type of things. This would be one more service that would be a consideration in the overall relationship. Clearly from the distributor side, they would want to have a priority position in return for making the investment in the technology. Some distributors prefer to acquire technology like trucks and computers for cash, not so many. More like to lease or finance, and we'll work with them whatever way makes sense. From the maintenance perspective, one of our fundamental beliefs is the best time to fix a system of mechanical devices before it breaks. Now, these are machines and they do require field repair from time to time. However, we've found over hundreds of millions of transactions that the mean time between failure is over 10,000 operating hours. So that means on a mechanical basis, any given shop is not going to see a repair tech more than once every 3 or 4 years on a given machine. We do have a deployed network of field service technicians throughout North America, so if service is needed, no problem. One of the beauties of being an internet-based system is what we call the trajectory cloud. So all the software is in the cloud. So we take care of all that. We do all the maintenance. There's no software installed at the shop site or at the distributor. There's no software for them to maintain, nothing for their IT departments to do. It's very simple and easy to implement and easy to support.
Simple is good. There's no doubt about that.
We like to say easy to use, easy to implement, and easy to afford.
That's a good slogan, no doubt about it. Well, Kent, you've been really thorough. I've asked everything I wanted to ask, but I do want to give you the opportunity to add anything else that we haven't touched on.
Well, we appreciate being a part of your broadcast and your chat. The industry is evolving. We see this not only in automotive aftermarket, but in other industries, and we're excited for the future. There are many that are afraid of the future. We're not. We're here to work with the distributors and the shops to create a better system that works in today's environment, where everybody can get what they need. In other words, customers get their vehicles repaired more quickly, shops turn the vehicles more quickly and are not waiting on parts, are not delaying jobs, and distributors are able to get those parts to the people that need them efficiently and smoothly, and follow best practices, and most of all to bring a competitive advantage to the partners that we work with.
Well said, Kent, and I want to thank you for your time today, and giving us some real hope in terms of solving some of the efficiency problems that this industry has had over a long time. You certainly have enlightened me and our viewers about a new way to look at supply chain management, and I wish you much success.
Well, thank you very much, Larry.
And thanks to you, our viewers, for being with us today. I hope to see you back here or at some industry event in the near future. So until next time, this is Larry Silvey for Aftermarket Business World.